Hey gang, Ronin here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 10 US Destroyer Gearing. Nothing unusual about that. It is one of my favorite ships for sure. It's, with everything that's been going on in my life here for the last little while, it's kind of like comfort food for me. You know, I hop in if I have time for a game or maybe two. I generally want to play the Gearing. It just feels comfortable to me. So, you know, not every game, of course. This is World of Warships. Matchmaking plays a little bit of a part of in things, but I have I have a decent chance of having a good game pretty much anytime I play the Gearing. So you know, there are a lot of replays here that I share in this ship. Now, you know, life may change for me again at some point, and I may be playing more types of ships. You know, be playing cruisers and battleships more, or just be playing the game more. But for now, it's very often going to be a destroyer. There are a couple that I've been thinking about wanting to play for a little while now that I haven't played in a while. Grossovoy, Shimmy, those are a couple that I really like, and they're very similar ships. I really like to play those. And then there's some cruisers that I want to play, some battleships that I'd like to play, and I'll get to that. But these are games that, the Gearing games, usually that I play and I say, oh man, this was a good game, it was really fun. And so I will record it, and then whenever I get a chance, I'll narrate. So what am I doing here? I don't want to push straight into the cap, and the reason for that is that I don't want to get caught in the cap. We got a couple of different submarines that could pop up and spot me, and I don't want to put myself so far north that something like the Prussian is tearing me apart with secondaries. So, you know, with Prussian, Thunderer, both on this side, there is the potential for serious disaster if I get too close and get detected. You know, one Thunderer volley with HE into a Gearing is pretty devastating. It's about like getting the attention of a Midway when you don't have a smoke. Now, what's out here? I think it's got to be the Yu Yang. You could see the last known position. So I'm just going to sit here for a minute and see what happens, and see whether or not he will make himself visible. Now, my guess is he's trying to get out of here on this flank. So I'm hoping I'm going to catch him nose into me, because he's trying to position. Let me stop this for just a second. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, you gotta love that. Okay, so what do I think the Yu Yang is doing? I think the Yu Yang is thinking about getting out here and throwing torpedoes behind the line. Now, knowing that, what I'm going to do is try and position myself right in here so that as he comes around this island, I can spot him. He can't turn in this way. The only thing he can do is smoke and try and turn out. I'm going to have help here, right? So maybe we're able to finish him off early. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, why I slowed down, why I did a little bit of maneuvering. And I'm probably in secondary range here, so I got to be careful of that. And I may need to use my own smoke. Okay, that is exactly what I hoped would happen. And you can see I've got my smoke going. Now, I'm not going to sit here. I'm just going to drop the smoke so I'm not immediately taking damage. And now I'm going to try and get the guns working again on the Yu Yang.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Just spotting him for my team. I don't have to worry about any of these torps.
Smoke screen set.
Yeah, only one hit, but I think I can chase him down. Alright, so right now you can see the red battleship that was in Charlie. He's moved behind the island. I can just chase down the Yu Yang now. My guns are a little bit better than his. His torpedoes can't hit me. The only other thing out here that might be a problem for me is the Minotaur. And yeah, I think I'm just going to butcher him here at this corner. I'm going to take some damage, there's no doubt about it. But I'm, maybe I'll try and play with the throttle a little bit and do some maneuvering. And I just have to land more shells at him. And you can see the CV's now over here to help me out. I don't want to push any farther north, and he's shooting, so as long as he's shooting, we're going to be able to do damage to him. Not a lot, but got him down to 9,000, 8,200. And, oh yeah, he's in big trouble. Now, these shells are pretty floaty as they get out toward range, but Republic finishes them off. And the bad guys are now down 2 ships, and we're only down 1. So my job out here on the flank is kind of done. Now I'm really looking for ways to get torpedoes into the sides of big ships.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Prusen, he's not going to want to sit there, I don't think. So I have the range to be able to get out there to the Minotaur. It's just a question of whether he decides to run, and if he does, he'll probably outrun my torpedoes. The Balau, he got behind the lines. He's come to the surface. He's in big trouble. So, not a lot of damage, just shy of 38,000 damage. I just came into hydro range of the Prusen, but he looks like he's about to sink. So that's going to stop. I might take some shots from the Mino. Nope, he goes down. The hydro comes to a stop. And will I hit the Mino with any of these torps? It's possible. I don't want to count on it. Now, I thought about staying on the south side, but we still have a lot of ships south. I want to head to the north side of this island and see if I can't contribute a little bit this way. Now I'm going to have an Henri out here and a sub. Republic and Workhorse are both out here as well. And you can see on the radio location indicator kind of where the Mino's at. And it just perfectly in the gap between my torpedo spreads. Enemy Henri goes down, and this game is, well, it's not necessarily in the history books at this point. Our Mino is really banged up. Our Yamato, our Kurfürst, they're all banged up. But if I had to bet, I would bet that this is going to be a win. We've got a 180 point lead, more or less. We've got a cap. They've got a cap. We're in a better position, I think, to secure a second cap than they are. I'm not sure what our Slava is shooting at, but I'm sure he had some kind of target out there. Maybe he's getting guns on the 2 ships that are there, like Delta 5. Now, I'm expecting them to try and push through the cap. So I'm going to get some torpedoes out there ahead of their push and just hope that I land some. Just cover that whole little zone and see if I can avoid being seen. As long as I avoid being seen, they don't have any reason to suspect a problem from here. I think the last time they saw me, I was on the south side of the island, right? From the hydro, from the Prusen that got sunk. So if anything, they're probably expecting torpedoes from the south side. Henri finishes off the Mino. Bad guys are now down half of their team. Yamato pushes in and is going to catch some of my torpedoes. I'll take it. And let's see if I can get fire going. Now, he can't see me right now, and that's why I turned this way. I'm just going to use this island and just lob shells over the top of it. He's healing. But there's nowhere for him to go. He's nose into a rock. And, a little chip damage here, a little chip damage there. Ohio now pushing up, and my torpedoes are back up. So maybe I can do the same thing to the Ohio. No, he is headed up with that whole thing, and he's heading out. So I'm going to push into the cap. Looks like Ohio's making a run for it. I've got smoke at the ready, so if I need it, I can use it. You know, I have to be careful of the Hindi with this hydro, but I think I'm probably safe heading into the cap here. And I think I'll be able to help secure this second cap for the team. And at this point, this game really is all over. They don't really have anywhere to go. You know, Henri is north of them. The Hindi's pushing up that way. We've got a Kurfürst and a Republic that are on the north side of the map that are pushing straight at the bad guys. I'm going to hold this set, I think. Yeah, he's going to turn. I'm going to be able to fire between this other gap, and I might catch him there.
Smoke generator started.
So he's burning, burning, burning. Is he going to repair? And if he does, can I catch him with a torpedo on the other side? So my hope is he's going to turn to his starboard toward me to go nose into the Henri and then nose into the Kurfürst and Republic. And I'll be able to shoot between this other gap here, the torpedoes, and maybe catch him as he pushes that way. He's not going to sit broadside to all those guys. Let me just finish getting the cap, and then I'll see about getting the torpedoes out. Just a few more seconds and I'll have some more torpedoes up. Yeah, I'm going to head for the alpha cap. So, not a bad game, really. I mean, kind of a blowout, you know, from that standpoint. But for me, I mean, not a bad game. Landed 7 torpedoes at this point and counting. He can't see me no matter what I do here, so. Just getting a little extra damage. I think if I fire here, he's probably going to spot me. But not now. And that's going to be all she wrote for Ohio. So I got to focus on Alpha now, and they're going to be down to 3 ships. There's the CV. Ooh, look, another sub.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes dead ahead. Torpedoes to port. Our victory is in sight.
Oh, that is a thing of beauty. It doesn't happen that way every time, but when it does, oh my God, what a feeling of indescribable joy. Now I'm thinking maybe there's a chance for a Kraken here. It seems unlikely. It's hard to imagine that the hack is going to survive long enough for my torpedoes to even get there, but yeah, there we go. Nagamov just finished him off. And that is all she wrote. They've got 1 ship left. It's really banged up and getting more banged up by the second. I think this was a fun game. Good example of what the gearing can do. You got to play somewhat conservatively in the beginning, like you do with most destroyers. But it has a great set of tools. It may not be the best at any one thing, but it's good at pretty much everything. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.